Hey, what's going on, my friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today I'm going to share with you 5 things I think you should know about this powerful super new moon happening January 21st, 2022. It represents a complete shifting of the tides into a brand new energy of expansiveness, freedom, and believe it or not, abundance. Theme number 1 is self-mastery. And I know some of you are already very skeptical of what I just said. Self-mastery, Vic, no. It seems as if I'm regressing, relapsing, old behaviors, old patterns, old bad habits creeping back into my life. But there's a difference, a major difference. Now, you're frustrated with yourself. Now, you're catching yourself, you're witnessing yourself, you're recognizing that what you're doing, these old habits of control, proceeded from fear and discontentment and restlessness, you're seeing the writing on the wall. You're seeing, this isn't serving me. These aren't helpful. Why am I doing it? And the reason you're doing it, is the reason we're all doing it, is because there's a lot of momentum to our conditioning. It's not an overnight fix, as nice as that would be. But the fact that you're recognizing the imbalance, the fact that you know that you could be going with the flow more and going through life with more ease and more trust and not creating so much stress and drama unnecessarily for yourself. You're starting to see the folly in going through life in that way. And that, my friend, is the first step to self-mastery. Without that awareness, we can't change. No one can change. And you can look around at the world and see an example, kind of a gross manifestation of a collection of people who aren't aware that they're crazy and dysfunctional. You are, I am, I know I'm nuts, but I'm working on it. Number 2, adjusting to all this freedom. Oh, what freedom, Vic? We're in a recession. The economy is going down. AI is going to ruin everything. What freedom? We're prisoners. It's a prison planet. I see what you're saying, but I respectfully disagree. There is freedom in the awareness that all of that is just a game transpiring on the surface. It's almost like there are 2 realities coexisting right now. The one I was just describing, the one that's in your face with the news and the media and the crazy people and all the problems of the planet and this and that and the darkness and the drama and the control. There is that, and we're kind of like in it. There's also another reality that most of us are existing in right now. A spiritual reality, a reality of divinity, a reality of awareness of our divine, eternal, powerful, untouchable, benevolent nature. And for a time, these realities seem to be coexisting, almost hard to distinguish the 2. But the way you can is by how you feel and how you respond. I don't know about you, but I can look around at the world and I can completely see where people would say we're screwed. This planet's people won't be around for very much longer at this rate. But I can feel very clearly, very intuitively, that all of this is happening for a reason. That all of this is part of some massive cleanse that the universe is apparently putting us through. And I can see positive results stemming from all of what seem to be these problems, where people see destruction, and like a de-evolution, I see evolution. I see people coming into their power. I see people waking up. I see people attracting the lessons they need to finally snap out of the dream they've been trapped in and transcending this perpetuated karmic momentum of the collective unconsciousness. I see everything happening for this positive result. And right now, you might even notice in your own life, there might be big problems or, challenges, circumstances that you are dealing with right now. And some of them might seem familiar, like you've been through this sort of cycle or theme or you played this out before. But what you might hopefully are aware of is how you're responding differently. You might notice that on the inside, there's a part of you that can't help but know it's okay. Know that all the different things going on in your life are for your highest good. They're actually helping you. They're your prayers being answered. I shared about this a little while ago on my Instagram account. I'll leave a link down below if you want to follow me there. I'm not very active though, I will just say. Anyway, I made this post and the title of the post was Problem, ? Or your prayers being answered. And I shared one of my big problems I dealt with years ago when I was an active drug addict. I was a heroin addict. I was a mess. My life was on a very rapid descent and a downward spiral into utter darkness. And I found myself getting arrested, pulled over by the police and arrested because they found paraphernalia in the car, and I was thrown in jail temporarily. And I had to deal with some legal struggles. Now on paper, that's not good. That's like the last thing Victor needed at that time. Or was it? Or was it the thing I actually needed to finally wake me up out of this pattern I was a prisoner to? That was the perfect catalyst that led me to finally getting clean and sober, and I've been clean ever since. It's been like, I don't know, almost 20 years. Geez, it's been a very long time. And I credit this amazing life, my family, my soulmate, all the beauty in my life would never be here had I not had that problem. So the point is, at that time, I didn't know that. At the time, I was like, oh no, But now, I look at problems differently. And I bet a lot of you do too. And the people that have that mindset, that understand everything in your life, including the people and the drama, it's something you attracted to yourself. Now why? Why would a divine, eternal co-creator ever in a million years choose to attract unpleasantness into their life, if it didn't actually serve them? And it's a mindset shift. It's a very simple mindset that will cause some people to get sucked down with the ship and some people to take that same opportunity and explode into a new life, a new state of consciousness, a new paradigm of thinking, a new way of going through life and relating with life. And the new way is extremely positive, it's expansive, it's unified. And those are the two realities coexisting right now, and all that separates the two is a choice in mindset. Number 3, evolving out of the reptilian mind. For thousands of years, as a means of survival, humanity collectively has been quite paranoid, quite fear-based, controlled things, because there was wild animals and we battled the elements of weather and neighboring tribes trying to kill us and all sorts of stuff. And that way of going through life is very heavily ingrained, and now we play it out in much more mundane and harder to notice type of ways, but we are living and proceeding through life with that same type of anxiety, that restlessness that at one point served us. And now we're in this situation where there's this spiritual evolution taking place, and there's all this freedom in finally letting go and letting like life lead us around in a much more intelligent and unified way. But we're all taking, right now, what we're feeling is this adjustment period. We're adjusting to this new level of freedom. And a perfect analogy that comes to mind involves my best buddy, Aaron Dowdy. Aaron Dowdy, when he was a little kid, like 6, 7 years old, his parents split and he was forced to move out of his house and go live with an evil stepmom, a very real evil stepmom, an insane, abusive, narcissistic nut job. And this woman took Aaron's innocent little life and made it a living hell. He was controlled in every single area of his life. He was locked outside, forced to do manual labor as a little kid in the hot Las Vegas summers. He was deprived of pleasure of any kind. He couldn't watch TV. He couldn't even have friendships at all. He was malnourished. He was fed a little TV dinner once a day. He wasn't allowed to go into the pantry. He'd get abused if he did. And he lived like that. Every moment of his day was completely controlled by an unstable psycho, basically. And then all of a sudden, something happened where I think like child support or something was called, and luckily he was able to move into a different house. And this different house with his dad, it was like night and day. All of a sudden, he was allowed to have friends. He was allowed to like eat freaking ice cream after dinner. He was allowed to watch TV. He had a TV in his room, and he could do anything he wanted. And he said like it was as if he lived his whole life trapped behind a fence. And he could look out beyond the fence and see everybody was enjoying their life, living normal lives, and he was stuck behind this fence, and all of a sudden one day that fence was gone. You think Aaron would be happy, but he wasn't. He didn't know what to do with all that freedom. He missed the control. He missed the predictability and the safety and the familiarity of control. And he didn't like that freedom all that much. It took him a while to finally adjust and embrace this newfound freedom. And that's something that is available to all of us now. It's the option to forego control of our life, where we think we need to just control everything with our limited mental power and mental faculty. There's a higher intelligence, as Napoleon Hill calls it. There's this other self, this intuitive part of us that's much easier to understand and receive guidance from now. That's available to all of us, saying like, listen, just let us take the reign. You don't have to try. You don't have to do any of this stuff. You can just relax, go with the flow, follow the simple clues we're always leaving you, and guess what? You're going to casually, joyfully tiptoe your way to the good life. A life of abundance, a life of happiness, a life of all the different preferences you think you need and want in life, just kind of coming to you quite easily. But you got to let go of that control. You don't need it anymore. This next theme is titled, Writing Your Final Draft. You may have felt like your life has been on hold for a while, for maybe a few months, where you may have been trying to get new things off the ground and momentum going and moving the needle forward in different areas of your life, and you're just met with like block after wall after layer of resistance after like just almost like, you know, bad luck, you could say. And it's like, what is it going to take? What's it going to take to like transcend my situation and go towards the goals and dreams I have in my life? Because nothing's working. You may have sensed a lacking of energetic support in anything you've been doing. And there's also a recession going on. There's a lot of reflections out there in the external as well, kind of mirroring this hibernated, wintry, contractive, energetic cycle we've been kind of stuck in for a while. A lot of people said it's because of the Mars retrograde or something. I don't know much about astrology, believe it or not. But anyway, it's like that type of energy. And what you may have found there is you've had glimpses of ideas, little rays of hope appearing here and there that haven't really led anywhere. And we've had a lot of time to kind of reevaluate our life, reevaluate where we're going, where we're putting our energy and time into, what are we investing ourselves in? Is it in alignment with us? Is it still part of our highest passion? Or maybe not anymore. And you may have just felt kind of stuck. But now what's happening is the energy is shifting to where we're going to have, in my opinion, like a green light for anything we want to do. What do you want to do? What do you want to create? Where do you want to go? It's going to happen finally. You're not going to have you're not going to be dragging all that dead weight. You can kind of go wherever you want to go. But the main theme here is to learn from the past few months. These seasons of contraction, they're not something just to wait out as much as little fun as they really are to experience. It's not, there's a lesson there, there are lessons there, there's much to learn, there's a lot of value. And the value is taking time to evaluate what is true for you. What do you value? Are you happy with where your life is heading? Or is there something else you want to be doing? A new chapter you want to start? It's all free. We're all these like powerful co-creators cut loose in this 3D reality. So now it's whatever you want to do is going to pretty much expand as it normally does. But the question is, not the question, but the wise thing to do is to really carefully consider, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Is it in alignment with who you know yourself to be? It's a great time to decide, like a final draft, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to let go of some of this, not all, but some of it's going to go, and we'll free up a little time here, and it's a chance to reorganize where you put your energy into. And finally, a new abundance. Last theme is a new abundance. Now, some people are thinking, Vic, it's a recession. There's all these, no, there's no abundance. We just got done with the holiday season. What are you talking about, bro? Abundance is available to every human being on the planet, even regardless of the situation. It's all kind of relative, if you haven't noticed. Have there been times in your life where things have been going well and then there's times where you're struggling, but like really your base level of contentment is sort of the same? I know I have. I've had times when I've been very broke. In fact, I just wrote about this morning. There's a time that just came to my memory recently where I was sitting at the table of my travel trailer where I lived. My whole family lived in a 21-foot travel trailer. That's including my wife and 3 children, even a dog and a cat. That's where we lived. We had no money, no income. I was paying our bills, supporting my family on credit card debt, which I racked up a lot of. I remember I had to shop at Walmart. I had like $10 tennis shoes. I would wear these like $5 shirts from H&M. I had like 3 black ones and 3 white ones. And I had like, my whole wardrobe was like $80. And I had like very, very little, I had like no stuff, no belongings. We had to get rid of it all because it couldn't fit in the 21-foot travel trailer. But what I remember is none of those limitations when I think back. I actually think back to that time with nostalgia and gratitude. Because what I remember is playing games around that table, this little crappy table made out of cheap plastic, made to look like granite. We'd sit around this little table in these little booths, and we would play like cards and stuff, my children and my wife and I, and we would laugh. And everyone's so competitive except Patty, my wife, and we take it seriously, but we had these really, really neat, beautiful moments of just joy and laughter and playfulness and arguing, just typical family stuff. And that is all I remember. That is all that matters. And now I have a nicer table and we still play those games, and you know what? It's all kind of the same. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. It's about your degree of wakefulness to what's already right in front of your face. Another theme I've noticed with a lot of people I know is there have been things that have happened in their life as of the last 6 months that have woken them up to what really matters. Like one of the things that happened for me is about a year or 2 ago, my aunt, she suffered a major stroke. And we thought she was gonna die. It looked like she was not gonna live. And luckily she's a freaking fighter, man. And she's alive, but she can't communicate or anything. But it was like, wow, this woman was like healthy. She had a son who just went off to college. She had her whole life, whole huge chapter of her life ahead of her, and bam, gone. Wow. And my wife, Patty, she just lost her aunt recently to a stage 4 cancer that just came out of left field and took her. And there's these different things, and it's sad, obviously, but there's so many lessons that we can learn from these types of experiences. And the main one is like, life is short. What really matters? What really matters? There was a time when I thought I had cancer. My wife found a mole in the back of my head and said I should get it checked out. I did. The doctor said, oh wow, this looks like melanoma. Jesus, really? I said, yeah, but we're gonna take a biopsy and we'll let you know. So I went for a whole week thinking I had potentially had this deadly cancer. You know what I thought about? I thought about my how many subscribers I was getting a day on YouTube. I thought about, I wish when I die I had like a nicer vehicle at the time, a better, more luxurious vehicle. And I wish I had like new jeans. No, what I thought about is my friends and my family and how I affected them. That's it. That's all. That's all that matters. That's all we really need is love in our life. I thought about how I never really could appreciate the simple things in life, like the grass, the smell of the grass after you mow it, or the warmth of the sun on your skin when you first step out into that cool winter morning. Little things like that have always been available. And now we're finally waking up out of this fog, this dysfunctional definition of abundance where we spend all of our time and energy to fuel this unimportant status and all this bullshit that we invest ourselves into. We're realizing none of this matters. All I've been seeking through all that has been right in front of my face right now, and I'm finally aware of it. New abundance. It's a wakefulness. It's a reverence of the preciousness and the fleetingness of life that we all are experiencing in this exact moment. Two quick things before I go, my friend. Hope you enjoyed that video. Number one, I'm hosting a retreat in Austin, Texas in April of this year. The whole premise is to help people find and really bring to life their life purpose. We're doing group activities to really tap into that group energy with like breath work and QHHT and different things we're gonna do that really will help bring about a powerful transformation in the people that come. I've been doing these retreats for years. They're extremely powerful. This one's about half full. If you want to come meet me and my wife will be there, we'll be chilling with you guys for about three nights, 4 days. There's a link down below, check it out. And then lastly, I want to make you aware that I have a new blog where basically this whole video is inspired by this blog. And I'm a lot more prolific with the blog, where if you like this general message, you can get a lot more of it for free in my blog. I'll leave a link down to my new website below. You can check out the blog if you want. And if not, that's all cool, my friend. I'll see you in the next YouTube video. Have an amazing day. Much love.